Hello, Namaskar, and a very good evening to all the viewers watching NCRT's live interactive program. I'm Simran Singh, and you have all connected with us through eVidya channel number 6 to 12. Besides this, you all know that there are so many different mediums through which you can all connect with us. You can even participate in our live conversations by raising your queries and your questions in the comment section of our YouTube channel, that's NCRT Official. And once again, a very warm welcome to all our learned audience in this program where we are discussing about cyber clubs. Well, it's the fifth final, the concluding day of our 5 days, 5 hours online training program on cyber clubs. And discussing about cyber clubs, we all know that we are consuming cyberspace in one or the other way. So it is very important to understand the fact that there are so many threats associated with it. But what can you actually do about them? What are the different aspects associated with cyber safety? So let us quickly have a look at our screens in order to understand more about the 5 days, 5 hours training program. So over here we have the web page of CIET NCRT. All you have to do is just type www.ciet.ncrt.gov.in, and there are so many options available for all of you. Just click on activities. Under activities, we can see the number of options. Just click on workshop/training, and once we scroll down, you'll see that there are different kind of activities available over here. Just click on online training cyber clubs, and we scroll down, we get to know about the banner, the detailed description, the day, dates and the time. You all know it's 8th of March and it is the 5th and the concluding day of our training program. Now this particular information over here is with regard to who all can participate in the quiz that we have for you, that is the post session activity. The link of the quiz will be uploaded and activated today itself by 6 p.m. So whether it's students, teacher educators, parents, administrators or general public, you can all participate in the quiz and you can all share your queries with us, of course. Now moving ahead, this is the program schedule. On day 1 we discussed about cyber clubs, the concept, the need and the scope. So in case if you have missed watching any of our live programs, then you don't have to worry, because we are uploading the video links for all of you, and also we are trying our best to upload the presentations for the day as well. So we also discussed about the cyber club activities on the technical aspects of cyber safety and security. Day 3, the discussion revolved around the psychological and physical aspects of cyber safety. Yesterday it was all about the ethical aspects of cyber safety, and today we are going to discuss an important interesting topic, that is cyber club activities on legal aspects of cyber safety. What all legal measures can be taken in case of any cyber crime, what we need to know. Now, how you can participate in the online activity or in the post session activity, that is quiz. There are certain steps laid down for all of you. The step number 1 is registration. So register yourself by clicking on this link or by scanning this QR code. Also viewers, you can watch the live training programs either through PME Vidya channel 6 to 12, through YouTube channel NCRT Official. Step number 3 is participation in the post session activity and certification. Now this is an important information for all of you, that if you score over 70%, then you will receive a certificate from CIT NCRT with regard to this online training program, and the link will be uploaded here itself. 8th of March, it's today. On the events page you will be able to see the link by 6 p.m. today, and the closing date by which you can share your entries with us is 29th of March 2024 by 6 p.m. That is the time by which you may submit your quiz answers with us. Now we keep on saying that your feedback matters a lot to us, so you can write to us through this Google form or either by scanning this QR code. Again viewers, we are continuously saying, and constantly in each and every session I have been informing you that you can always write to us through our mail IDs, and one of them is cybersafety@ciet.nic.in. You can also share your questions with us through this mail ID, that is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. Also you can give us a call at this contact number, that is 8800440559. So I just informed you that today we are going to discuss about the legal aspects of cyber safety. So discussing at length about this topic, we have our esteemed guest, our panelists in the conversation. So allow me to introduce you with the panelists. We have with us Ms. Mohini Arora, HOD Computer Science from Air Force Golden Jubilee Institute, Subroto Park, Delhi. Namaskar. A very warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
Then our second panelist for the conversation is Ms. Neeru Mittalji, PGT Computer Science from SRDAV Public School, Delhi. Namaskar. A very warm welcome to you
Thank
as
you,
well.
Simran.
Now, viewers, you know the different mediums through which you can connect with us. So, as it's the last day of our online training program, so do share your questions. We'll try our best to answer all the questions that you share either in the comment section or through the different mediums that have been shared by all of you. So, let's begin the conversation. And Mohini ma'am, in the first place, when we talk about technology, we cannot deny the fact that we are all using it in one or the other way. So it has got its positive effects, it has got its negative impacts on the society, on the children, on the adolescents. So it acts as a double-edged sword for everyone. It can go either ways.
Yeah,
so please
true.
highlight more on the risks that are associated with it and how actually we can use technology judiciously.
Yeah, Simran, you're absolutely right that technology is a double-edged sword. We cannot avoid technology. We cannot tell our students or anybody not to use digital devices. It has penetrated all spheres of our life, may it be education, may it be entertainment, may it be travel, may it be medical, it has penetrated everywhere. If I just talk about the school setup, we as teachers, we are using technology to communicate with our students. We are giving them assignments through various platforms. It may be through emails, it may be through websites, it may be through social media groups. But yes, we are using. Similarly, our students, they are also using technology to share their assignments, to create projects, to search information online. So we cannot expect them to avoid technology. So the best that we can do is to tell them to use technology for good, to use technology judicially. That is what is our aim. Our students today, our children today are in the vast pool of information. Out of that, some information, yes, they require it, some may not be required. Some may be true, some may not be true, may not be authentic. So we have to guide our students, our children, our online users to use that information authentically and judicially. So when they are diving into the unexplored, into the unknown world, they should be well aware of the potential threats, of the potential risks that they can face. So let me just show you certain statistics on this slide. Like this particular slide will show how much time children are spending online. If you see this slide, you will see that 80% of children are online on daily basis, more than 80%, in fact 81% of children are online on daily basis. 36% are online for more than 3 hours per day. And out of this, only 66% of students are online for school work. 66% are into gaming, and most alarming is the top 73% of students who are watching something. Now this, they could be watching anything, any content that is available online, they could be watching. It may be relating to violence, it may be relating to religious sentiments, it may be related to sexually explicit content which is not good at that particular age for the students to watch. So this is what is alarming trend. On the next slide, we see that 40% of the students are online by the age of 8 years. 93% of students are online by the age of 12. Now Simran, we are not sending our children alone to the market physically when he is just an 8-year-old child.
Yes.
So how do we expect that the child will be safe in the virtual, dangerous, unknown world alone, just at the age of 8? And not surprisingly, 72% children have faced some kind of online threat. This is across all regions of the world. Moving on to next, I'll show you the statistics of India. This is the latest statistics by NCRB, which says that cyber crimes against children records 32% increase in the year 2022. So these figures are definitely alarming. And when I talk about cyber crimes, There are various types, various forms of prevalent cyber crimes these days. The next slide gives you some of the most common prevalent cyber crimes. I'll just brief shortly on these. If I talk about identity theft, it is about stealing somebody's personal information. We may reveal our user ID, passwords to unknown people, thinking them as trustworthy, but they are actually not. They might be having malicious content. Then we talk about cyberbullying and cyber stalking. This particular is cyber crimes are very, very common among school children. The students, they are being bullied online. It may be due to peer pressure, it may be due to taking revenge, it may be due to any reason to show themselves as superior. Cyber stalking, where a child is followed online, the regular messages are going, texting is going on, audio video messages are going on without the consent of the victim. That is what is cyber stalking. Both the crimes are punishable under law. Then we talk about financial frauds such as phishing, wishing, smishing, where the victims are sent fraudulent links. They may be given fraudulent links through mails, they may be given through voice calls, or they may be given through SMS messages. Either of the ways, the victim reveals personal information, is lured to reveal personal information, and that particular person is conned. A person may be trolled online, derogatory comments may be posted just to gain popularity, just to gain attention, and other users may follow. That is what is trolling. If I talk about cyber grooming where young innocent children, they get victimized, they get befriended online to a user, an online user, which is usually an unknown adult who gains the confidence of the child by maybe appreciating him, by maybe acknowledging him, by maybe giving him good comments, and the child is lured. The child then reveals certain personal information which can be used further to blackmail the child, which can be used further to take favors from the child, and it can be very, very dangerous for the child. Then we talk about crimes like doxing, which is digital dox, where the personal information, private personal information of the child is posted online, generally with the malicious purposes to defame the child or to bring the self-esteem of the child down. Excluding, another common cyber crime prevalent among school students, where a group of students, they exclude a particular child online to such an extent that the child feels traumatized, he feels left alone, he feels lonely, he develops suicidal tendencies. So this is another form of cyber crime. So all these cyber crimes are definitely very, very dangerous. They have to be taken into account by the entire education ecosystem. So the education ecosystem, it consists of the parents, the school and the education system, the technical and gaming companies, because if a child is into gaming, then definitely the interface, the terminology that is used by these gaming and tech companies, that is automatically imbibed in the child also. The law enforcement and the judicial system, that is also a very, very important part of the student ecosystem. If we have stringent laws, if we have proper penalties for the perpetrators, then definitely it acts as a deterrent for the further criminal activities. And the most important, the center of the student ecosystem is the child himself, the children themselves. They have to be made aware about the potential hazards of online activities, and each and every component of the student ecosystem, may be parents who have to keep a check on the online activity of their child, may it be teachers who have to tell them about, who have to guide them about the effective and safe usage of online medium. Each and every person plays an important role for the online safety of the child, and that is what we will be concentrating on today on the next further course of the session.
Of course, very rightly it has been pointed out by you that it is a collective responsibility of everyone, be it state teachers, parents, or the society in general, that we have to take care of the fact that as our opportunities are evolving and we are finding new space, new dimensions, of course, the cyber crimes are also evolving. Therefore, a legal framework has to be ensured in such a way so that there are certain laws where we can actually complain or we can look up to in case of any cyber crime. So discussing more on the legal aspect of cyber safety, Neeru ma'am, we would request you to share with our viewers what are certain laws especially made up by the government in order to address the challenges that have been posed in the field of cyber safety and security.
Yes, sure, Simran. That's a very important thing to come up with. We know that strong security measures are now essential because we rely so much on technology. We are always on our devices, students are on their devices. And of course, India is one of the fastest growing economies, fastest growing digital economies, I would say. So we must understand that the importance of safeguarding our digital presence should be of the highest priority for the government. And the government has taken a lot of steps. The cybersecurity space has evolved from the IT Act in 2000 to the latest, if we talk about the latest act, which was the National Cyber Security Policy in 2013. So I would also like to bring your attention to this quote on the screen. If it's known, it's manageable. If it's well known, it's actionable. So we know of cyber crimes. We know there are so many cyber crimes. We can identify the crimes. But if we do not have a proper definition, if we do not have a proper framework for these cyber crimes which are being committed every day, every hour, then it's very difficult to bring the perpetrators to justice, to bring justice to the people who have suffered, and to punish the perpetrators. So we have to know what all cyber laws are there. So in India, the cyber security framework has 4 main pillars: the cyber laws, the key provisions, the enforcement mechanisms, and the impact on cyber security. So as I said, starting from the beginning, Information Technology Act 2000, it is the legal framework which is provided by the Government of India, which tackles all the cyber cases, all the cyber whatever punishments are there, whatever laws are there, all of them has to be managed by the Information Technology Act. Then there is the Digital Personal Data Protection Act in 2023, which safeguards how the data, the personal data of people, of anyone who is using the internet, can be used by companies which are actually getting the data. There are other relevant regulations also. The key provisions which the government provides are data privacy regulations. This is a very important point because data privacy is a basic right for any human being. So how the data which we enter when we are filling forms, nowadays we have the CBC exams and students are filling numerous forms online. So how should that information be handled? How should that information be stored or processed? There is a proper provision for that by the government, laid down by the government, so that no one can misuse, no one can utilize that information for their own purposes. Then we have the cybercrime definitions. Like all of us know, okay, this is hacking, maybe this is identity theft. There are numerous variations of what is hacking or what is identity theft or what is a cybercrime on the internet. But to make a provision, to make a key provision for what is a cybercrime, we need to have a proper definition in the books of law. So these key provisions are also provided by the cybersecurity framework. Then the punishment and penalties. We need to identify the laws, we need to identify the punishments which are supposed to be pelted out to people who commit those crimes. Without the punishment and penalties, of course, these laws are of no use, because we need to regulate the crime. So just like we have to punish a real life thief or a real life person who is committing a crime, we need to punish a person who is committing a cyber crime. The government has brought up many enforcement mechanisms, like we have the cyber cells and police stations. There are special law enforcement agencies which take care of the cyber crimes. There is a national cyber crime reporting portal which can be used by anyone who wants to report a crime online. Then there are legal procedures, there are courts, there are special courts which handle the cyber crimes. And of course, the entire framework is to safeguard the online presence. So the impact on cybersecurity is there. The safeguarding of digital assets happens here. Data privacy policies are also promoted, and we also enhance cyber defense capabilities. All these are part of the cybersecurity and safety framework of India, and they are being rampantly updated and used in today's scenario. So there are some important government initiatives. Like, if I don't mention this, it will be incomplete. We had the formation of the CERT in 2004. It is the main governing agency which actually implements the IT Act and all the laws, cyber laws which are there prevalent in the Indian cyberspace. We have the National Cybersecurity Policy, which was introduced in 2013, and there is a Cyber Swachhta Kendra or Botnet Cleaning and Malware Analysis Center, which was established in 2017 by the Ministry of Electronics and IT. And this particular initiative of the government helps make the data which is available on the net botnet free. It cleans the internet of the bots which are malicious. We have the data protection and privacy regulations which was brought in 2017, and there are many other cybersecurity. There are so many companies in the private sector which are also working in tandem with the government to make the cyberspace free of all the problems that we have been facing lately. These are some other initiatives by the Government of India which have been particularly active during the last 9 years. So having said that, we have a proper framework for handling cyber crimes, for defining cyber crimes in India.
All right, so these were certain legal frameworks that have been discussed by you, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to turn out to be very helpful for everyone, not only for the students but also of course for the parents and teachers, because everybody requires that sort of information. Now coming back to our point where we were discussing about cyber clubs. So this is a common thing. We can all understand the fact that we cannot actually minimize or restrict the usage of mobile phones or technology in our life, because right from waking up in the morning till going to bed, this is something that we keep on having with us. So how cyber clubs can actually play an important role in helping us to be able to use technology in a more effective manner, and I'll request Mohini ma'am to throw more light on that.
Yeah, Simran, see, the need of the hour today is to make each and every stakeholder aware. It may be any individual, any age group, any profession, a student, an expert. Everyone needs to be aware. So today we are in such an era that a child is born with a mobile phone in his hand. He is so techno savvy. By the time he starts to walk, he knows how to operate a mobile phone, how to open games, how to see cartoons on YouTube. So what cyber clubs aim at is to spread awareness about digital safety, to spread awareness about potential cyber crimes, to spread awareness about the various legal provisions available. And all this is done keeping in mind that a child will learn more in an informal environment, doing activities, playing games. If we give a child a book to read on cybercrime, he may read just 1 or 2 pages and may just then leave it. It may sound boring to the child. But if we have activities which are relating to the incidents that are happening around him, and it's very, very important to know that many times when we take a session with the children, when we talk with the children, we come to know that yes, they are aware, they have heard something like that, but yes, they are apprehensive to share about it. They have inhibitions to share about it, especially if it is relating to something relating to either themselves or to the nears and dears. a survey shows that around 80% of the students are bullied online, but hardly 40% are reported. Even if they share with their parents, many times parents delete the data. They do not report either to the police or even to the school. So what cyber clubs are aiming at is to create our awareness among students about cyber crimes, about legal provisions, about where to report if God forbid somebody, any individual, any student, any teacher has become a victim of cybercrime, where to report, and to promote sharing of experiences. I really believe in one motto: share and be aware. The more we are aware about the activities happening around us, the more we'll be able to take precautions. So cyber clubs aim at promoting such activities among school students and then making them aware about all the aspects of cybercrime. So I've just discussed two activities here. So first activity is about know the crime. This is an individual activity. A teacher has to make a very small prep of making chits of all the cyber crimes that has been covered in the content. The cyber crime manual is containing information about the various cyber crimes. So that has been discussed in an informal manner with the students. So now it's the students' turn to share their knowledge, share their incidents that are related to a particular cyber crime. So a student picks up one chits and he just narrates, enacts, speaks about any particular incident relating to that particular cyber crime. Now that incident may be real, may be imaginary, maybe from a book, a movie, a newspaper. He may have heard that particular incident from a word of mouth, from his friends, from his parents, from teachers, from relatives, right? And the child is given full liberty to reveal the real names. He may not reveal the real names. So what happens is that he opens up. When I am in the class, I just narrate one single incident which has happened maybe yesterday. I just heard about it, and definitely in the class, 2 or 3 students repeat back, ma'am, this is what happened with us when we were there, or this is what I heard happened with someone known to me. So that inhibitions and that apprehensions of the students to come in open and share, that is what is the aim of this particular activity of Know the Crime. So this is an individual activity. There is another activity of Cyber Club, which is a group activity. And this activity is named as How Smart Are You? A very funny and simple activity, and students really enjoy it. The whole class is divided into 2 teams. One member of the team is secretly given the name of the cybercrime, and that particular student has to enact that crime, any incident, or he may enact the word, or he may enact any latest news about that particular cybercrime, and the team has to guess it. So you can't imagine how creative students become in this particular activity. They come out with new ideas, something that they have heard somewhere, they try to enact, and each and every student remembers all the anecdotes of that particular cybercrime. Very interesting and very successful activity. So this is how cyber clubs are aim, their objective is to spread awareness among the students in a student friendly manner.
Of course, and when so many students are involved there within the same vicinity, they are going to open up and discuss a lot about what they have gone through, or maybe precautionary measures that needs to be taken at the right time. So, ma'am, previously, Neeru ma'am, you have discussed about certain laws and measures that have been formed, especially by the government, in order to curb cybercrime. And one of the potential ones that we see, it's a powerful legislature, is IT Act 2000, and a recent amendment was also made to it. So please highlight the provisions of that, and how does it actually empower all the citizens to be digitally more responsible and secure?
Sure, Simran. So as I spoke about the IT Act, the IT Act 2000 is I would say, the only legal framework in India which ensures the safety of cyberspace in India. So it is a primary legislation. It has been formed by the parliament. It is governing various cyber activities and offences in India. To shorten it, it also defines offences such as hacking, data theft, identity theft, and cyber terrorism. And it also prescribes penalties for the offenders. It also provides legal recognition of electronic documents, digital signatures, and electronic governance. So it's an all-in-one packet for safeguarding us against cyber crimes. Now here, Simran, I would like to discuss some examples from real life, how the IT Act can help us there, and special examples are from the students' perspective. So I'll just speak out one scenario. Jatin is a young professional who loves to play online games with his friends and colleagues. Now, in order to discourage his opponents and make them nervous, he sends messages undermining their playing prowess. And at times, he also uses abusive and offensive words, only to undermine them. So, what is this? This is a cyber crime, and it comes under Section 66A of the IT Act 2000. This is cyberbullying, and it addresses the transmission of offensive messages through digital devices, aiming to curb cyberbullying or harassment, especially among children. And you would be, very surprised to know that it is also offenders can face an imprisonment for up to 3 years and fine or both, depending on the situation. So, second scenario is a shopkeeper who sexually exploited a child and filmed the act, on the pretext of maybe giving some sweets or maybe giving some free buys to the child. He then sold the same exploited video on the dark web and also shared it with his friends. This is a grievous crime, a very grievous crime, and believe me, there are many students, many children who face this crime. And what can be done? This comes under 67B section of the IT Act, and it is called exploitation. It imposes penalties for punishing or transmitting material depicting children in sexually explicit acts online. So this actually safeguards minors from exploitations. And in this case, offenders can face an imprisonment for up to 7 years, the same which is there for sexual offences offline, and fine or both. And this is a punishable offence under IT Act, and it's a very grievous, if you are found guilty, it's a grievous offence. There is scenario 3, Sarah, a girl, she receives an email from her company's IT department instructing her to update her software. Now she clicks on the provided link, unknowingly downloading ransomware onto her computer that encrypt or damage her data. Now this can be done by many students, and many children also do this. They click on links which are which they feel are okay, and they end up maybe their computers are seized, there's some ransomware, there's some virus coming, or there's some malicious software coming into their system. So this is a very common, I would say, crime, and it is covered under Section 43, which is of online threats. Here, it penalizes downloading data that leads to malware or ransomware attacks, and it is basically emphasizes on the importance of cybersecurity to protect children from online threats, because like us adults, we are still more careful, we are still more aware of all these things, but students who have just entered the world of internet, they are not very much aware of this. So offenders can also face penalties of up to 1 crore rupees in this case, which is Section 43. Having said that, there are lots of provisions for punishment of cyber crimes in India. There is an exhaustive list. I would not go into the details of this, but you can find the entire list on the government website. To enforce this activity, like if I would teach in the classroom, this is the IT Act and this is the section and this is the offence, a child would they would not understand, or maybe it would be a bit boring for them. So we can do an activity which is called Let's Play Stapu. Stapu, Simran, is, I think every one of us must have played Stapu sometime in our lifetime. So what can be done? We have designed this activity in this way that the teacher will first of all display the section and the offence, and she will help, students will help draw a Stapu, that is a Stapu board or a Stapu maze, and the offences, instead of writing 1, 2, 3, 4, the offences numbers will be written on the Stapu, and there will be 2 or 3 players. They will use a stapu to throw the stapu onto one of the boxes, and where the stapu lands, for example, in this case you can see on the screen the stapu has landed on 66D. The child who has thrown the stapu has to identify the crime, or they identify the section under which this crime has been there. So this is a very interesting game which can be played offline, of course bringing students to the outside the classroom, and students can really enjoy this game because apart from playing, they are learning about a very important aspect which I think every child, every adult also should know about. There is another activity which we can use to enforce, understand what are the cyber laws and what are the implications if you do not follow the law, or if you break the cyber law, if you commit any cyber crime online, or any other crime which is prevalent in the cyberspace. So this activity is called Who is the Lawyer? It's again a very interesting activity in which we have the class will be divided into 3 teams. So there will be one team which will represent the lawyers, one team will represent the victims, and one team will represent the offenders. So each team will send a representative to the front of the classroom. So the team will be positioned with their placards, like you can see over here, the lawyer, the offender, as well as the victim. The teacher will then announce a hypothetical situation. The situation should be covered in the cyber offences or in the cyber IT Act cyber crime list, and based on the situation, the victim, the accused and the lawyer will play their part. I mean that the students will identify the cyber crime and they will play their part accordingly. So this activity is also a very interesting activity which can be done in the classroom, which is again an offline activity.
These activities are certainly going to be helpful for all the students as a part of cyber clubs. And Mohini ma'am, whenever we talk about any sort of cyber crime, the first thing that I think a fraudster do is take all your data or information. And sometimes it's a lot of private information that we tend not to tell other people. So the first thing is that, for example, if there's an XYZ organization and they are taking our data in the name of maybe filling up forms or surveys or XYZ, any other thing, is this practice safe? And if not, are there any legal provisions associated with it that can actually safeguard our rights and interests?
Yes, Simran, you rightly said, these days data is gold. So everyone tries to collect data. There may be websites, there may be organizations, there may be coaching institutions, universities, the agents who are aiding admissions. Everybody wants to collect data. In schools also we have third parties coming over, doing some workshop, then in the name of the feedback they are collecting data. So definitely data is being collected in one or the other manner. So there has to be some legal provisions to protect this data. Children's Online Privacy Protection Rule. This was laid down in 1998. It's quite exhaustive, but the main content that I would like to speak about is that any website or any online service that is collecting personal information of children below the age of 13 years have to obtain parental consent before doing so. So this was laid down in 1998. It's a federal rule which was laid down that time, and most recently we have the DPDP Act, the Digital Personal Data Protection Act. This bill has been passed last year, and it's really a historic milestone for the protection of personal digital data. It has data privacy as its core, and its main aim is to protect the rights of individual to protect their personal data. See, data is when anybody comes to me to fill up a form, it may be a physical form, it may be a digital form. When he comes to me, he tells me the purpose, that this particular form is being filled up for so and so purpose. So according to the DPDP Act, any data that is collected has to be used for that particular lawful purpose only. So every organization has to implement technical and organizational measures to safeguard any type of personal data that is being collected by the clients, by the customers of that particular organization, right. So, a proper agreement should be signed between them, and once that purpose is solved, that data has to be irrecoverably deleted. It cannot be used anywhere, it cannot be sold anywhere, it has to be deleted permanently. So, still if there is any data breach due to any lapse in the security system, one, the DPDP Act lays down huge penalties of up to the range of say 250 crores per non-compliance. That much penalty has been laid down in this act, and so they have to strictly comply with it and make sure that the data collected for any purpose is used for that purpose and not for any other purpose. There is no data breach. If there is a data breach due to any negligence, it is reported immediately to the individuals and to the data protection board. That is very important. So for this we have in the cyber club a very simple activity, which is cyber cross. Although one example as this particular crossword is given in the manual, but it's very simple to create a crossword using online tools. So various acts, various types of cyber crimes, various legal provisions can be tested using this particular activity that is given for the two legal provisions that I have just mentioned.
All right, thank you so much for that. And talking a lot about cyberspace, it becomes very important to understand the do's and don'ts of the cyberspace. So, Neeru ma'am, please take us through certain cyber tips that are very important for everyone to be secured.
Yes, Simran, that is very essential. I think we have been hearing of cyber tips since a long time, since we have started talking about cybersecurity. But still, students, and not only students, ourselves, teachers, all people who are there, we always tend to forget some security tips. For example, today only I was, in the studio, I was saying like we don't log out of our accounts, and that is one thing which we should be doing. So the cyber tips for students are, we would say, very similar to what we teach them in the real world. Like be respectful to other online users. We always teach them to be respectful to their classmates, to be respectful to anyone in their space. So it is the same thing in the online space. We should not be opening suspicious emails and taking suspicious phone calls. Lately, we have seen through suspicious phone calls, there have been a lot of cyber crimes, lot of data breaches which have been happening. So this is one thing which the students must be taught, that we should not be clicking on anything which does not come from a verified resource, which does not come from a person whom you know or whom you can trust. So we should, maybe it is an email, maybe it is a link on their WhatsApp, maybe it's a link anywhere. We should not be clicking on that. Third very important tip is we should use strong passwords. We have a tendency of using passwords. For example, I would use a password Neeru@123. So it's a very simple password to crack. Students also tend to use passwords. For example, they'll put in the name of their pet, or maybe the area where they live, or the name of their best friend. So it's very easy to guess. So instead of using passwords or using rather strong passwords, we should use passphrases. Again, we should not be clicking on pop-ups. Never leave your devices unattended, especially if you are logged in to any application. This is again, we take it very casually. In fact, even us, we take it very casually. But we should not be leaving our devices unattended, because anyone can steal our password, can look into what work we are doing and use it. We can always use original and updated software and antiviruses. Back up your data on a regular basis, opt for two-factor authentication. Never share your personal and confidential information such as passwords. All of us know that we should not be sharing anything which is personal with strangers. We should not make friends with strangers online. This is very important in the context of students. They should not be, as we tell them not to talk to strangers, they should also not be talking to anyone online who are strangers. So for this, we have designed an activity called Nukkad Natak, because these tips are there always with us, but to actually implement them and to make students remember these tips at the back of their hands, we can use Nukkad Natak, which is a Indian way of conveying a social message. So in the Nukkad Natak, what will happen is the class will be divided into groups of 5 students. Each team will be allocated one cyber safety threat by the teacher at least one week before the activity. For example, we could identify a cyber safety threat, and the teacher can allocate one to each team. For example, cyberbullying can be allocated by the teacher to one team. Students will research, identify the tips to prevent and overcome the cyber safety threat, and based on their research, they will design a script. They will design a proper play and prepare a Nukkad Natak giving the social message for cyberbullying, for example, in this case. And on the day of the activity, the students will perform. The teacher may select the team which is best to present in the morning assembly.
Also, please highlight the role of school, how they can actually be a big game changer for all the students and helping them in addressing these crimes.
Yeah, the first thing that a school should do is take the child into confidence, because child is already so scared. We should be taking the child into confidence, and we should not be revealing the identity of the child. We should form a committee, inform the parents of the victim, refer the child to the good school counselor, collect evidence from social media before it goes offline, and take advice from a cyber law expert. This is very important. But there are some preventive steps which the school can take, like we should keep a complaint box for cyber issues, introduce e-clubs, and also we can conduct workshops for students, parents, teachers, and all these stakeholders to help the student identify the cyber crimes which have been committed against him or her.
Of course. And Mohini ma'am, if God forbid something happens or any sort of cyber crime, we fall a victim, a prey to that. So actually, how can we seek assistance? Because when we talk about students, they are quite vulnerable and sometimes you do not know what to do. More than anything, they become very, very hesitant.
Yes, that's correct. They become very, very hesitant. In fact, I'll say that even parents, they also feel reluctant to report. So let's take a pledge that if any activity, any untoward activity, any offensive content is seen online, it is reported. So first and foremost step in reporting is, please collect the evidence. Before I tell you the reporting mechanisms where you can report, first step is, please keep your evidence safe. If it is a transaction fraud, please keep your UPI transaction IDs, the bank account numbers ready, the phone numbers of the perpetrator, the mail IDs from where to receive the mails, and so on, everything ready before you go for a particular reporting mechanism. And there are few things, like for example, if you have a financial fraud, you are a victim of a financial fraud, please approach the bank immediately. Immediately block your accounts, your cards, your e-wallets, they should be blocked immediately. To file a report, either go to the nearest cyber police station and 1930. Every child right from class 4-5 should be memorized this number 1930. It is the universal helpline number to report any type of cyber crime in India. So this number should be put on display boards. The posters can be made by the cyber club so that everybody is aware of this number 1930. Another reporting mechanism is through National Cyber Crime Reporting Portal. This is by Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, a very, very useful portal where any type of cyber crime can be reported. It can be a financial fraud, it can be a crime related to children or women in which the identity of the victim, it can be even filed anonymously. You may not reveal the true identity of the victim in case of reporting of a crime related to a child or a female person, or you can even report the financial frauds. So for this particular process, there is an activity that has been designed in the cyber club, that is where to report or how to report, where a student will make a poster, and these posters can be used for rallies in the cyber awareness week and so on.
Of course. Thank you so much for sharing all these important details, this enlightened pieces of information with all our viewers, and I'm pretty sure that this has actually enlightened the way they think about cyber crimes or cyberspace, because all that glitters are actually not gold. So it's very important to be aware, cautious and more alert. Thank you so much Mohini ma'am and Neeru ma'am for being a part of this discussion, sharing your expertise with us. Thank you to all the viewers who have connected with CIET and CRE for this 5 days, 5 hours online training program. Once again, let us quickly have a look at the webpage of CIET and CRE in order to understand about training program. And just one more piece of information for all of you. You can participate in the post-session activity, and the viewers, the questions of the activities will be formed from the different programs that we have conducted in these 5 days for all of you. Register yourself, watch the live programs, then participation. If you score over 70%, you will get a certificate. This is the assessment link for all of you. The link has been uploaded at the webpage of CIET. Just click on this link and solve all the answers. Share your answers with us, and also if you have any queries, then feel free to connect with us. By 29th March 2024, till 6 p.m. you can share this quiz link with us. You can share the answers of the quiz with us. You can obviously submit your feedback with us, and for any queries, reach out to us through these mediums. Thank you once again for connecting with us. Well, this is a wrap up for our 5 days online training program on cyber clubs, but you all know that we come up with certain interesting training programs for all of you for the next week as well. So keep watching it with our channels. Take very good care of yourself in the offline and the online world. Next up, we have our Sahyog program, so do not go anywhere. Namaskar.